Nick, what I want to do with this video is to show you some comparisons between some swings in term 2 and term 3. Look at a few areas that we've improved, a few areas that we've worked on, and also some things we want to work on going forward. Looking at this view here from back, on the right hand side we've got a swing from late term 2 to a swing late term 3 on the left hand side here. An area that we've worked on a little bit with your setup. Most of your setup positions have all been good. Your posture's always been very good. Feet positions, alignment's always been a little bit shut, but we've been working on that continually with tour sticks. From this view though alone, we've been looking at that right at our hip position and then our spine angle in relation to our hips being perpendicular. As you can see here, right hip's probably ever so slightly below the left, which is good.